High IQ in childhood may predict later drug use. This is pretty interesting. Brainy kids, particularly girls, may be more likely to experiment with marijuana, cocaine, and other illicit drugs when they grow up, according to a new report. Now, this looked at 8,000 people. They were all tested to have high IQs for ages 5 and 10, okay? And they were all more likely to then use illicit drugs at age 16 and at age 30. This is from the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health. Now, exactly why having a higher IQ at age 5 or 10 leads to more drug use later on is not completely clear, but there seems to be a couple of different theories. What would yours be?
I'm assuming that this IQ is maintained, right?
Throughout life, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
The theory is people with higher IQs are just more open to new experiences, and they would be more interested in testing things themselves rather than just reading about them. That's really the idea.
Is that the claim?
That's one of the theories. The other question would be, well, social status, distress in the home during adolescence, parents' income, all these things should affect it, but it apparently did not. In the test, even controlling for those factors, IQ, still higher IQ, was connected with more drug use later in life, regardless of higher or lower socioeconomic standing, etc. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, strange. I mean, there's certainly plenty of drugs I would never do. I consider my IQ to probably be higher than the average.
I know you do, yeah. No, I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
It doesn't mean I'm not curious about what that experience would be, but
sure.
I know the effects it would have.
Right.
So I don't know.
How much higher than the average person would you consider your IQ to be? Just kind of casually, as you mentioned.
I have no idea.
No.
But
definitely higher.
Judging from the types of things we discuss on the show, having to do with your average intelligence, yes, I would say it's higher.
Natan, react to Lewis's claim that he's making here. Do you find it to be a pompous claim, or?
No, I'd say he's probably in the 80th or 90th percentile.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Natan agrees with your high IQ.
I don't know if I'm really being serious right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't care if he agrees or not.
No.
Yeah.
You know, it would be interesting if we all sat down and actually did legit IQ tests with an IQ testing expert and saw what the numbers were.
Yeah, you can't really trust those online ones, can you?
No, I mean, when it's 4 questions, I think that's, the world's shortest IQ test.
I've never seen a 4-question IQ test.
No, but there's ones that are like 25 questions.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right, let's figure it out. If you can set up someone to test us or whatever, let's look into this.
How hard can it be to find somewhere to do that?
The thing is, you need to do it under controlled conditions. You sit just with the tester and you do the whole thing. It's like a 2-hour test. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Okay, let's do it.
All right, okay. Well, I'm interested. Would you do it, Natan?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it would be fascinating. I got one other email about this, and the email was, people that are highly intelligent often want to calm their brain because they're annoyed by constantly thinking about all sorts of things that dumb people don't think about. Therefore, higher IQ would lead for people to want ways to relieve their brains of all that stuff.
It may sound crazy, but I think there's some truth to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a little bit unclear. Some drugs will make an active brain calm down, and other drugs will activate, a more dulled brain. So,
right.
I mean, all that would show is that they would be into certain drugs.
Right. As the comedian Artie Lang once said, crystal meth is a great drug if you feel like walking to St. Louis one night.
Yeah. I think there is some truth to that email. I think there are lots of people out there who just need things to slow down a little bit up there.
All right, we will begin to research the IQ test. Lewis making the claim that he certainly has a higher IQ than the average person. Let's take a break, Lewis, on that note, and we'll gather our thoughts, and we'll be back. A lot more I want to talk to you about. Stay tuned.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.